lads, welcome back to the Litanah Army. I'm Lit and this is Deep Rock Galactic. Now before we get started, I just want to say a massive thank you to all you guys who have commented and left messages or sent me IMs, posted on Twitter, and all the lovely messages that I've got just to say about coming back. It's been absolutely great. I've loved reading them. I've tried to reply to every single one, so if I haven't, you know, just hit me up again and I'll make sure that I will. But a huge thank you for all the support that you're showing on this series so far. So, today then, Deep Rock Galactic, we're looking at this guy who is the Driller, a really versatile class, one who's a lot of fun to play and one who I've had a great time playing. Someone asked in the comments, you know, if this game gets a little bit dull, if it can get a bit repetitive, but the thing I've found is all the caves are procedurally generated, which means that every single cave that you go into is different. And on top of that, there are loads of different biomes as well. I don't know if there's 6 or 8 different biomes, but there's things like crystal caverns, there's like ice places, there's magma places, these like places with all these like fauna and like jungle-y type places. It's really, really good. So far, you know, I'm quite a way into the game at the minute. I'm nowhere near the end game, but you know, I've actually played the game for a few hours now and I'm really enjoying it still. Every expedition that we go on has been absolutely fantastic and the whole feel of the game's been great as well. So what I want to do today, or what I want to do over the next few days, is have a look at each of the 4 classes. So you've got the Gunner, who we looked at yesterday, the Driller, who we're going to look at in this video, then you've also got the Scouts and the Engineer as well, who we're going to look at. But you know, it's been absolutely great. I'm really loving it. I mean, we may put other games on the channel as well pretty soon, but just a huge thank you to you guys who are supporting it. But without further ado, let's jump in and see just how good this Driller really is. So where does the Driller fit into Deep Rock Galactic then? Well, this is the beauty of this class. He actually works just as well solo as what he does as part of a team, meaning you can use him in both scenarios. If you want to go into a mission on your own, this guy's going to be great. If you want to go as part of a team, then this guy's going to be super useful. One thing that he does bring to the table is his crowd control. Using the weapons that he's got, which we'll touch on in a minute, he's got excellent crowd control given the weapons that he's got. He's also got amazing mobility as well, thanks to the drills. He can drill up or down. As long as there's rock there, this guy's going to be getting through there. And he's also got great survivability thanks to the utilities that he's got in his arsenal as well. So he can use grit, he's got the bombs, he's got axes, he's just got things that he can use that means he can survive just as well as any other class. This guy's not a squishy class, which is what I thought when I first picked the Driller, when I first went in to try and use him. I thought it was going to be a little bit of a glass cannon, but that wasn't the case whatsoever. He's also, you know, very well rounded as a start class. If you're looking to pick up a new class, then this guy's going to be great. He is easy to pick up, but he does take a little bit of time to master and to get right. But overall, the Driller class is reliable, is useful, and is versatile. So let's go and have a look at what he's actually got in his arsenal and what you can actually use with this guy. Okay then, so let's have a look at the builds that I've been running then. Now what we have got, this is the CRSPR flamethrower to start us off with. Now I have been using this one, the high pressure ejectors, which increases the range of how far your flame actually goes, so it gives long distance incineration, you can see there. But I think I'm going to go for the high capacity tanks, which I think will be actually more useful. That's just used up one of all of my resources. The next one I'm going to go for is unfiltered fuel. So if you look at that, the overall damage on your weapon is increased, always great for when you're down there in the mines. This one's pretty good as well, the oversized valves, because it increases fuel consumption rate for more damage. So I think I'm going to go for this as well. It's all about making him much more effective. Then I think after that, when I've got enough gold to do this, which I haven't right now, I'm going to go for this one. More fuel is going to be one of them that I'm going to use. And then the one after that, I'm going to go for this one down here, which is Targets Explode, which will be absolutely awesome. You know, more damage, more explosions, that's going to make it all better. So just to quickly run down then, high capacity tanks, unfiltered fuel, oversized valves. Then after that, we're going to go for this one, which is more fuel, and then we're going to go to make targets explode as well. Now, do you know what? The great thing about this game is you can actually move things up and mix it up yourself. There's no right or wrong build. There's no real... There is a meta, of course there is, but there's nothing that's going to stop you doing your job well. If you decide that you want heat radiance instead, it's not going to make you any more, you know, any less effective to your teammates. As long as you play your part and you can make that build work for you, then it's going to be absolutely great. But the flamethrower is absolutely fantastic. It just gets you out of a pinch. It's great for crowd control. Probably the best weapon in the game when it comes to crowd control until you get into the later weapons, until you unlock things later on like the cryo cannon. But it's absolutely fantastic. You've also got this one as well then, the SUBATA 120. This is the pistol that he's got. I've not really done this up all that much, and maybe I should, to be honest. If we have a quick look at this one, the SUBATA, what we've got on there is the high capacity mag size, which is one that I like on most of them. I'll probably go for the increased caliber rounds after that. That'll be my next one. Not got enough pills to do that just yet. Then I'm not certain from there onwards. Let's have a quick look. Probably expanded ammo bags, or I'll go for the improved propellant, giving me more damage. In fact, of course I will. I'm going to go damage, 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 and then I'll probably go for this one, so the Mactera Toxin Coating, which gives bonus damage against Mactera aliens, which is absolutely great. The pistol's actually good. You know, I had a bit of a problem with the Gunner's pistol, because although it's really high impact, you're reloading it all the time. This one, given the high capacity magazine, and probably if I get the expanded ammo bags as well, is going to be great. Again, it's not the best weapon in the game, but don't forget, your role in here is crowd control. So if you're going to be using this pistol, it's usually because you're either, you know, you've got things that are too up close to be using the fire or the ice with, so you're going to need to switch to this. It gets the job done, which is one thing that I like about this class. The next thing that you've got on there is the satchel charges as well. Not done this up whatsoever just yet, but this is absolutely great. When you use this, you actually throw this down and you can move away from where it's planted. It gives like a red dome over it where it's going to be, and then it just explodes. So I'm quite looking forward to actually getting stuff done with this. You've got an improved kill switch, so you can disarm and pick it up. So if you don't need it, you can actually pick that back up. And you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do with this here. Probably going to make this so that it blasts. I want to go for big damage on this. Not so much stun. I think it's going to be all about damage for me. Look at this though. Rock mover. See, I've not even seen this one before. So blasts and carves a much larger area. So that could be pretty cool. And you can use that for actually mining as well. So you can actually throw that up to somewhere, blow it up, and it can actually get the minerals down for you, which is absolutely great. The drills are super useful. This is the build I use on the drill. So what we've got on there is expanded fuel tanks. You've got the magnetic refrigeration on there as well, just to make sure that it cools down. You've got the supercharged motor, and then probably next on there, I can either go for bloody cold drills or I go for the increased tank pressure. I think I'm going to go for this. I can get this right now. So we're going to go for that one as well, which is the bloody cold drills. So your drills cool down when drilling enemies, which is pretty useful for when we get into a fight. Sometimes I do use them for that. The last thing I just want to show you guys on there is the impact axes as well. The impact axes are absolutely great. When I first saw these and I first saw that this was my throwable, I wasn't overly excited. I thought, the axe doesn't look all that great. Surely it's not going to do much damage. But it actually does crazy damage. I've not even upgraded to the next one yet. I can do, and maybe I will when when the caves get a little bit harder. But right now, this impact axe is great, and it works great with the cryo cannon. You can actually freeze the enemy and then just throw this axe into it, and it takes out, some of the bigger enemies in, well, once you've frozen them and thrown the axe, that's pretty much it. So it can be good night, God bless, even sometimes quicker than a gunner, which is absolutely great. But that's all the weapons that we've got on there for now. I mean, the guy looks great. My particular guy on here looks like Hagrid in some sort of steampunk suit, which is great. I absolutely love using him. But he's just a class who I've really enjoyed, and he's someone who, I keep coming back to. What's great is as well with the driller, if you're going solo, there's not going to be much that you can't get to. You can reach pretty much anything thanks to these drills that you've got, and although they do take fuel, which can run out, it does last for a very long time, by which time you'll have drilled to get things like nitra and got your supply pod, and you'll be back in the game pretty quickly. Okay, so let's look at some pros and cons then to actually using this driller. The first one is his crowd control. The crowd control on this guy is absolutely unrivaled. Using the CRSPR flamer on big mobs, or be it on swarms, anything like that, is really satisfying to do, and it's really effective at the same time. The second thing is his mobility. Now, okay, he's not got the grappling hook like the Scout's got, or he's not got the zip line like the Gunner's got, or anything like that. However, he's still absolutely super effective at getting from point A to point B. And when I look at a map, sometimes you've got to work it out in your head a little bit, but there's nowhere that you can't get to. And sometimes when you're trying to escape to the drop pod at the end, this guy's absolutely necessary, because he can sometimes just drill, as long as this dropship is close, it can sometimes just drill you straight to the exit, and you can get out really, really easily that way. The third point is as well, he's great as solo or as part of a team. You can use him as either. And then the fourth one is that he's easy to pick up thanks to his gear and utility that he's got. So he's, if you want a starter class or someone to actually use at the start of the game, then he's absolutely brilliant. Now, there are not many downsides to using this class. I mean, the only things that I could really think of is there's burning and freezing your friends. Because the weapons are crowd control, as a new player, you can be absolutely devastated and wreak havoc amongst your team if you're not careful where you're actually spitting this thing. Because, if they're in the way, it does do damage. Now, the damage isn't huge, and you can get a perk that'll actually stop friendly fire, which will actually help you quite a lot. But burning your friends and freezing your friends is a real issue sometimes with some drillers. I've never really experienced it in a bad way. No one's ever wrecked a mission or wrecked a cave dive just because they've done that, but it is something that's really real, and it can be a real danger. Also as well, drills use fuel, so the drills will run out eventually, and you will need a supply pod, and they also take time if you're trying to drill upwards. So you tend to find drilling Downwards is really easy because you can just drill kind of like a bit of an angle and you can get down to any surface. When you're drilling upwards though, sometimes the surfaces aren't there, or if there's a big chasm for example, it's very difficult. You have to drill down first, run across the chasm, then drill back up. It can take a while, where it was if you had a gunner with you, you could just zip line across there and it would be super easy. But you know, overall, I mean, these aren't really anything that's, I would say, should put you off using the driller. He's someone who's extremely good, is extremely fun to use, and you know what, he's someone who's really fun to master. When you're taking time, getting better at using the little tricks that he's got, and you're getting better with him, you tend to find that you'll have a huge amount of fun using a driller. So let me know what your favourite class is below, guys. I would absolutely love to know. For you guys that are playing it, maybe you've just started playing Deep Rock Galactic and you've only just picked it up and you've got a class that you like. Maybe, you know, it could be the gunner that we used yesterday, it could be the scout. Also on top of that as well, you know, I'd like to know how far you are. If you play the game already and you've got a particular level, do you know what rank are you? What rank have you got this particular class up to? What's your driller at the moment? There are a lot of experts on this game, and one thing that stands out for me in Deep Rock Galactic is the community, and that's one thing that keeps bringing me back, because even on the Reddit, you know, if you go on their Reddit, it's a lot like the Save the World one was, the Save the World subreddit is, where you'll find that the Deep Rock Galactic subreddit is really, really friendly. They've got more than enough time for you. I've asked several questions on there and in the Discord, and people answer you pretty much straight away, and they've always got some tips. I mean, I like the heated debates that they have sometimes about what weapons are great, what weapons aren't great, and things like that, but ultimately, you know, the actual community and the spirit that you've got around this game is phenomenal. And the great thing is it's coming out of early access soon, which, I mean, I hear that about lots of games, so I'm not going to name any ones in particular, but you know, you hear that about lots of games, or they'll be out of early access soon, but this one, the devs have really worked hard on it. I got this game at launch. The devs were kind enough to actually send me a key for this when the game first came out. I played it, I liked it, I didn't do much with it. Then I found Save the World, and it kind of just got, like a lot of my games, it got put on the back burner. But do you know what? I've come back to this game much later on, and the game has just got a wealth of content. You only have to look at the actual update sheets that they send out and the roadmaps that the devs have been putting out, and it's just massive. There's loads of customizations now. Because the mines are procedurally generated, that's a great thing. One thing that I think they do need to work on a tiny bit is the end game. But with this developer, I've got no doubt that they'll be doing that. The deep dives are kind of working towards that. The deep dives are tough, but I do think that they're going to be working on something, you know, I want something that's almost impossible, something that's semi-impossible to do. You can do it, but it's going to take skill. Do you remember like when the raids first came out in Destiny, or when the difficult heists came out in GTA 5? This is the kind of thing that I want to see in Deep Rock Galactic. I'm not saying that'll be a thing, but if anyone's going to do it, this dev team can do that. And that's something that I would love to see. And I would love to see just some big end game content. Something that's going to take all your skills, something that's going to really push a group, and you know, something that's going to mean that you're going to have to work together. You guys who used to watch my Fortnite Save the World content, we used to have the event that was the Frost Night event, and when that first came out, it really pushed a lot of groups to try it over and over and over until they nailed it. That's the kind of thing I'd love to see. If not, one thing that would be great in this as a game would be live events. Do you know, I think this is one thing, once the game's got out of early access and the game's got its core, no pun intended, but once the game's got its core actually nailed down and done, I think it would be great to have events in this, so that the Deep Rock Galactic Corporation have actually come down and said, you know what, we want X amount of this, or we want you to do this particular mission, or we found a particular alien that you're only going to see for, like, for 1 month or for a few weeks, and then you have to go in and take that out. Would be absolutely phenomenal. But guys, this is the Driller class. Let me know what you think down below. Absolutely love doing these so far, so massive thanks for watching, and I will catch you tomorrow for the next class video. Take care.